Hey friends, so today's flow is focused all on how to incorporate just some basic inversions and arm balance into your practice. I'm just going to jump straight into the inversions and arm balances. So if you haven't warmed up already, you may just want to pick one of my other YouTube videos, maybe open up your hips, hamstrings, shoulders just a little bit before we get started. But if you guys are ready to go, we're just going to start at the top of the mat. So go ahead and bring the feet hip distance apart, coming into mountain pose. Big inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. And then exhaling, we're gonna fold, trying to bring the fingers in line with the toes, but if they're a little bit in front, that's okay. And then we're gonna start to bend in the knees, shifting the weight into the palms of the hands, and take a jump back into high plank. From here, shifting forward, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So take 3 big breaths here. Consciously bringing the heels down towards the mat, driving up and out of the shoulders. Last breath. And on an inhale, we're going to look in between the hands and work on that jump forward. So sometimes to prep myself for these, I like to rock onto my toes, stack my shoulders over my wrists, and then come back into downward dog. So maybe play with that just a few times, kind of see how it feels to begin to shift the weight into the arms. One more time, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, and then coming back into downward dog, taking a little bend into the knees, keep looking forward, and hop, bend in the knees to receive that jump, bringing yourself up to the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, rise all the way up, nice flat back. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're gonna move through those next few a little bit faster since you guys kind of have the idea of where we're going. 2 more sun salutations, including hop backs and hop forward. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, take that hop back, high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Remember to stay really active in your downward dog so we're not sinking into the shoulders, pressing up and out of them. Inhale, start to look in between the hands. Take that little prep, rock forward if you need it. Rock back, bend the knees, keep looking in between the hands. Hop, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Set up the hands. Exhale, jump back, high plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. 3 breaths. So if you're not used to doing these, you might be starting to feel the shoulders a little bit. Really, really good upper body workout. On that next inhale, look in between the hands. Take that prep, rock forward. Rock back, bend through the knees, keep looking forward, hop. Bend into the knees to receive that hop. Exhale, forward fold, straightening out through the legs. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. What is this? My bang. My bangs keep getting in my face, guys. I can't even. All right, so keeping the feet at hips distance apart. Actually, let's go ahead and heel toe them out just a little bit. So maybe a little bit wider than hips distance, and you can point the toes out towards the edge of the mat. Inhale, bring the arms overhead, and then exhale, we're gonna come all the way down into a malasana or a yogi squat. So we wanna work the heels down towards the ground. If that's not happening here, you can stay up on your toes or roll up your mat so they're under the heels. But we're really just transitioning through this pose, so we're not gonna be here long, but we'll just find our yogi squat for a second. So you can bring the elbows to the knees, pressing the knees open, bringing the heart forward so we're sitting up nice and tall. And then we're gonna start to work our way into crow pose. So there's a few different ways that we can get into crow here. One of them is bringing the hands down, keeping the knees on the outside of the upper arm. So from here, all we're gonna do is start to create that bend in the arms. So thinking chaturanga arms, and we're shifting our weight forward, not down. As soon as our energy starts to go down, that's where our face goes. So we want to bring our energy forward and look forward. So planting the hands, thinking chaturanga arms, shifting that energy forward, and then maybe finding that float with the feet. Coming back into malasana. So that's one option. The next option is planting the hands, starting to lift the butt up. So we're straightening out through the legs just a little bit, and then we're tucking the knees right behind or on the triceps, almost up into the armpits. So my knees are basically in my armpits right now. Same concept. Energy shifts forward, shift, 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 and then maybe start to find that float with the feet. So you're shifting forward until the feet almost just float up on their own. And then bringing the feet back down, rocking back into malasana. Okay, so those are two options to try. Some work better for different people. For me, I really like tucking my knees into my armpits, but give both a go and see what works for you. Go ahead and plant the hands, spin the toes back in, straighten the legs out, wide-legged fold, grab the elbows, rock side to side. Good, come back to center, plant the hands. Let's go ahead and jump back into downward dog. So working on that jump again. Jump the feet back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it through, crescent lunge. So rising up. We're really pulling that right hip back, left hip forward, so squaring the hips to the top of the mat. Exhale, bring the hands down. Bring that right foot all the way back to three-legged dog. And on an inhale, we're gonna bring the right knee to the right elbow or tricep. And then as you bring it back up, we're gonna find a little kick with the left foot. So this is called floating dog. So again, rocking forward, right knee to right tricep or elbow. Exhale, bring the right leg back, kick off the left foot. So just finding little baby hops. Don't worry about stacking the hips yet, but just finding a little bit of air time. Good, 2 more times. And slowly lower that right foot down. Go ahead and drop the knees wide. Press back into child's pose. Catch your breath for a second. Go ahead and tuck the toes. Ground down through the palms of the hands. Press back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it all the way through. Rise up, crescent lunge. Oh, got those pesky bangs again. So pulling the left hip back, right hip forward. Just giving our wrist a little bit of a break here. Exhale, bring the hands down, step that left foot back straight up into three-legged dog. Inhale, left knee to left elbow or tricep. Bring that left leg back, kick off the right toes. Good, left knee comes forward again. Bring the left leg back, small kick off the right toes. So you'll find that one side either is much easier or much harder than the other side, and that's completely normal. So 2 more hops here, just taking little baby hops, trying to find some air time. Good, and slowly lower that left leg down. Maybe walk out your dog for a second. And drop the knees again. Press back into child's pose. Go ahead and rock up onto your hands and knees. Flip the fingers back towards your knees. So we're just going to release the wrists for a moment because we've been doing a lot on them. And start to slowly rock the butt back towards the heels. So just stretching out the wrists and the forearms a little bit. Good, make a circle with your middle finger and your thumb. So with your right hand, grab the wrist joint of the left wrist, make a fist, and just start to make some circles, going both ways, just for a moment. And then switch. So right hand goes into a fist, left hand makes a loop, and circle out that right wrist. Awesome job, guys. Bring the hands back down onto the mat. Press the hips up high, downward facing dog. Inhale, look in between the hands. Go ahead and prep yourself, so rock forward. See what it feels like. Exhale back, bend through the knees, keep looking forward. Inhale, hop to the top of the mat. Exhale, straighten out the legs, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Nice flat back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good, so nice wide step out onto the mat. And then we're gonna heel toe the feet in until they're about hips distance apart. And go ahead and sit back into your chair pose. So just like you're zipping up a tight pair of pants, we're really sucking the belly button in towards the spine. And we're just gonna find a little bit of a twist here. So inhale, reaching with that left arm. Exhale, left knee comes to right elbow. Hands come into prayer. So finding length through both of the side bodies. So we're not crunching down into that left side body. We're really finding length and space. Pulling that left knee back if it started to pop forward. And then from here, we're going to continue to sit down onto the ground. So bring the bum down, 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 sitting onto the heels. And we're gonna work our way into side crow. So side crow is obviously a little bit of a twist. So that's why I started you guys with a twist. You can come out of it for just a second if you want. So our prep position is this, and you guys can see it from the side. I'm just kind of rocked back onto my heels. My bum is on my heels. I'm gonna face forward though so you guys can see the full pose in a moment. So we're gonna inhale, left arm up, exhale, twist and wrap that left arm. So you're bringing the entire tricep to that right leg. So you're really creating a shelf here. And this is really, really important. If you don't create that shelf, you're gonna slide right down the arm. So try and tuck that left arm up into that right knee as much as possible. From here, it's the same concept as regular crow. So we're shifting our energy forward instead of down, Okay, so planting, grounding down through the hands. We're shifting that energy forward. We can use that right arm as a shelf for our right hip if we need to. Keep shifting forward until the feet float off the ground. Good. Slowly bring the feet back down. Unwind, come back to center. Wiggle it out for a second. And then other side. So inhale, right arm up. Exhale, bring that right tricep to the left knee, creating as much of a shelf as you can, grounding down through both hands, looking forward, shifting the energy forward, using that left arm as a shelf if we need to for our left hip, and then slowly floating the feet up. And then exhale, back down, come back through to center. So that's how we can incorporate a little bit of side crow into our flow. And we'll go ahead and hop the feet back out to hips distance, rise back up, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, nice flat back, rise all the way up. Exhale, step to the top of the mat. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, jump back, high plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. So inhale, look in between the hands, and this time we're just gonna walk the feet forward until we feel the shoulders stack over top of the wrist, and then we're gonna stop. We're gonna ground down through the left foot, slowly lift that right leg up until we come into the standing splits. So this is another really good way to prep for handstand hops. So from here, you can start to take little baby hops off of that left foot, practicing stacking the hips and keeping the shoulders over top of the wrist. Okay, so we're just taking really tiny hops off the ground. You can even take hops like this. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Again, it's just enforcing stacking the shoulders over the wrist and really starting to shift the weight into the upper body. Okay, so if you still have that right leg up, go ahead and slowly bring it down, and we'll switch out. So left leg goes up towards the ceiling. Find that standing splits for a moment. Make sure the shoulders are over the wrist, and then start to find hops with that right foot. So maybe just shoot for 5 to 10 little jumps, and then slowly lower that left foot down, grab opposite elbows, and hang for a moment. Slowly bring the hands down to the mat, step the feet back, drop the knees wide, press back, child's pose. So we're going to go ahead and finish up there for today. That's just a few basic ways that you can start to incorporate some inversions into your flows. There's a lot more that you can add in and do, but we'll get into some of those later. If your wrists are bugging you a little bit, you might be feeling it, especially if this isn't something that you're used to doing. Keep doing those wrist stretches that we did. Take care of them, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me.